The Black Ice Chronicles Massive. This is Crazy D. I'm sitting here with Mo P. You know, he's produced everyone from Dwayne Wiggins to Sean Paul from the Youngbloods to Johnny Gill, Al B. Shore, and then of course, you know, he's got that joint that he did with Flavor Flav. So how you feeling, Mo P?
I'm doing all right, my friend. Just doing this music business stuff. Right now, I have a new love for it with the things that I'm doing inside the business.
Okay, so originally you come from a church background.
Yeah, I used to play organ for churches. My mother is a minister, so she shut down pretty much everything. It was like, you can't do this living in my house.
So how did you get around her rules and get into being able to play R&B, blues, jazz?
Right. Well, I'm from Louisiana, and she was strict about that. So I sold everything I had, the little things I had, to go to California. And I went to California, and then I came back and got my group I was in, Third Avenue. I came back and got them. And we was out singing everywhere, winning all these showcases. We was winning it. And then we got hooked up. The guy said he has a cousin that works at Solar. And Solar was huge at the time we were signed. So we went to Solar, and everything happened. They just like us. I remember when we was doing the Deep Cover soundtrack with Snoop, I signed my autograph with Snoop. He asked for a CD, and I signed my autograph, and I gave it to him. But that was on the brinks of both of us on the Deep Cover soundtrack. Death Row was on the 3rd floor, and Snoop just used to be out writing lyrics at the desk at the bottom floor. So I just,
so you actually got to meet Dick?
Yeah, he was the owner of the company. He was the president of the company. We had a track. We were just sitting and playing this track inside the Solar. We were going up to the front, and Dick, he heard it. He was like, "What is that?" Because the guy he produced for Solar, Dick was like, "What is that? Oh man, that's a new fresh sound. What is that?" And it was a track me and the guy did that night. He came to Solar. He dropped us off at Solar because to go to his house, he'll pick us up from Solar, and then we'll go back to the hood because we were staying in the hood. And it's ironic how we got the deal.
So it was your leg work first. How long did you stay out in LA before you went back to go get your partners in the group?
I stayed in LA at first. I went for a showcase, maybe 4 days.
4 days. And then someone saw you and said, "I'm going to hook you up with this guy who produces at Solar."
Well, the way it happened was somebody saw us first, and they had a lady named Sheila. She gave us, I forgot her last name, but she gave us, she said, "I have a room. It's empty, but y'all can come crash in that room." And so, you know, that's what we did. We crashed. Then we went to Solar while we were staying in our house. But it was so funny. It's ironic because my group members, they had people, family members in LA. I didn't. So when the whole little record company thing started happening, people thought that we have money. We have millions. So she told us we had to leave. They went to their family, but I was homeless, sitting on the side of a building and falling asleep like that, until our money broke. But then when Dick heard that, you know, that I was on the street, Dick made sure that we was comfortable and living good. So that was the thing, you know. A lot at that time, we had did some things, a jingle for Old English 800. We was doing all that. We was their poster boys at the time. They didn't know I wasn't old enough to drink because I lied about my age.
So you went out there when you were like 17?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was young. And I lied about my age. And it's just, it's so funny though. God bless Dick Soul. It was so funny when I went to him, because Epic had told us, well, we want to release the new album. And I went to Dick Griffey saying, yo, we want to go because you're not doing like you're supposed to. Epic is doing. It was so funny that Dick Griffey was like, I got y'all in a binding contract. Then I say, no, I'm not 18, so that contract is not involved. So you had to be 18 years and older, or your parents have to sign a contract for you. But with me, by me coming out of Louisiana and just coming to LA, it was just me. And so it was a lie about my age. And it was so funny that he was upset because he thought he had us. He thought, and I was like, no, I'm not that age. So that's what happened with us.
So let's stop for a minute because that's interesting. How did you know the business of music outside of playing music? How did you know that?
Well, talking to people, they had told me, you're going to need your parents' signature. And I was like, no, I don't need my parents' signature because I'm on my own. I'm not with my parents. And I just knew that I took one and two and put them together. Said, I need my parents' signature. So he didn't get my parents' signature. So this deal is none and void.
So after he found out that he was still cool with you after that?
No.
Or it was over?
He was cool with the other two members of the group, Brad and Eric. My thing was, I just didn't care.
Okay.
And at that time I was like, well, I got Epic. Michael Jackson is on Epic. I want to be on Epic. The Solar. Even though Solar had a big roster like the Whispers, the Callaways, Midnight Star, we had somebody, The Deal, Babyface, them, and Babyface was hot at that time. Dick Griffey loved that I was a producer. Well, I guess I wouldn't say I was a producer at that time. I would say that I could play music and write lyrics. So he gave us songwriting deals and all that. And I was the only one actually walked away from everything because the group member called and say, yo, we're gonna keep doing the album with Dick. I don't know if he had some kind of conversation with him. I said, so what about the Epic deal? He's like, nah, you can go to Epic. We're gonna stay here with Dick. And I was like, whoa. And I felt like I was heart crushed. Like, man, I worked all this time to get this deal. I got a deal, and now I'm about to lose everything. Because, I think, and then one of my friends named Thunder, he was touring with everybody. I mean, everybody. He'll jump from one tour to the next. And he called me and said, man, don't worry about it. I'll hook you up. I said, man, I lost everything. Because we started at Thunder House. That's how we became a group. It wasn't 3rd Avenue. It was westbound, something like that. And Thunder told me, don't worry about it. I will hook you up because I said, all right. Thunder called me and said, yo, Bobby Brown, he needs some stuff for him. So I went and produced like Bobby artists and Bobby. Me, I produced all Smooth Silk, Styles, Bobby Brown, the people he had on his list.
So to speak to the people who might not know what produce means, does that mean that you wrote it, you composed it, you wrote the lyrics, composed it, arranged it?
Yeah.
Well, tell them exactly what that means.
Well, producing is taking a song that's written and going to the studio, have them take the ideas that was right and put it down where you get a whole picture of the song. Now, but with this, I wrote them too. I wrote the songs. So I know when Bobby them was like, man, who is this young boy here? Because 3rd Avenue blew up semi, this small, when the group dismantled. And it was like, who is it? Because I was supposed to go to LA for to Atlanta for 1 or 2 days. But I ended up staying there 6 months writing songs for everybody. I mean, everybody. And then people was coming in the studio, checking out Jermaine Dupri. A lot of people came to the studio just to see who is, I want to see this person.
Who is great. So how many songs would you say you were cranking out a day?
I was doing them like from start to finish. Like we'll record everything. I do the music. We'll record the vocals, and then the next day we was mixing. Because the next day there was, I don't know why it took so long. Supposedly, I guess there was just juicing the money up, but we was doing the mixing. Back then, I just knew back then. You hire an engineer and they come mix it for you. But I guess they all meant the same fate because they all was juicing it up. Like if it take, like it'll take 4 or 5 hours to mix a record. It was taking in a day, sometimes 2. I just know now, knowing now, back then I thought they was doing it right. So 2 days, we'll be finishing a song, and then have to send it out. Well, the record company send it out to be mastered.
So it would take, but could you like record 5 or 6 songs and then mix them over a certain period of time? And could you do 5 or 6 songs in a day and then mix them down?
Nowadays, I do that. Back then, in '89 or whatever, I didn't do that because I only did what I thought should happen. So I thought you do the song, the music and vocals one day, and the next session on that song, it may take a day to mix, a whole day. I didn't know it was just like the norm. I don't know, but now, living out, it shouldn't have took that. Especially with professional equipment like that, it shouldn't take that. Because now I can do, like you say, 5 songs in one day.
But that's because we're in the digital age now.
Right. But right now, still to the day, I guess because I'm used to it, I compress music, drums, kicks, snares, and all that. I still do that. It takes no time to do it digitally or analog because you have such a volume, but there's no more than this. Just crank it up where's that? And with mixing records, it doesn't take that long because we had some of the best equipment. They got gates, you just patch it in. Just like you go to the computer, hit whatever audio sent and go into the audio effect. It's really no difference. I think they was just doing that to really juice up to get that money. Because engineers was getting like $105. I mean not 105, $125 an hour, or $150 an hour. And if you could expand it for a day, it makes more sense to them. I didn't know. I didn't know because I just jumped in. all the Babyface stuff and all that. Like I produced the deal.
Songs. Let them know songs. Let them know
I produced songs.
Which song? Let them know.
I did a couple of Are You Ready on the deal, and sometimes I go to the internet and listen, like, wow, man, I need this, and I listen to it, like, wow, man, I was way ahead of the time.
So what's one keyboard stab or melody that you put into each song that they would know it's you?
I never did that.
Never did. It always
like the signature, they do down there put be something on the track.
Yeah.
I didn't do that because the record company wasn't gonna take that anyway. You probably say what that fool is doing. Tell him to get his vocals off the track because it was a different. And I talk to people today. You know, they got people want to do records with me, and they put their signature on the track. And I tell them, you can't do that if you're doing records with me, because it's not all about you. Is your name on the record better? Okay, well, take your signature out of the record. Let's let the record be for the artist, not for you to brand yourself on an artist deal. Now, you can do that on the internet. You can do it on the internet where you sell tracks or something and you want people to know that it's you. But with me, you can't do that because I grew up not doing that. That's why I don't do it. Mo P on the track, Mo Pizzle or whatever it may be. I won't do that. The credits, as long as I get the check for the track, I'm good. And see, when you're not getting checks, I guess put that signature on there. But you're not really growing. You go put your stuff on somebody's album. You put your beat on your track, or your lyrics on somebody's album. That should suffice for the song.
Okay, so you're in Atlanta and you were going to stay for only a couple of weeks, but instead you stayed for 6 months cranking out hits with different artists. So Bobby Brown, did Bobby Brown say, well, we need to have you on the keyboards out on the road? Did you ever go out on the road with these artists, or were you strictly a producer in the studio?
At the time, I didn't want to go on the road on tour because I was making so much money producing records. So I was making so much money. I was like, I'm going to go on tour for, it's a track. Bad enough, I just got off tour with 3rd Avenue. And it was draining. It was draining. Because they was giving us, we was on what you call the Chitlin circuit. And they had you on the Chitlin circuit. They had you doing 3 cities, because you go into each spot. You do 2 or 3 shows a day. We was doing summer jams, whatever, daytime, like 12. Because we was new, they was bringing us, before they had a big artist towards the end. But we'll do that, we'll do radio interviews, we'll go do this spot. We had to go to each one of those spots to do sound check. And then we had to go do a nighttime show. So it was like draining. And I was like, and at one time it was just for promotion to deal. We just get per diem. And we doing all these 3, and I was tired. I was like, I didn't want to do it at the time. I didn't want to do it because it wasn't good. When I started producing, as a producer, I started working with Bobby and all those artists. That was a lift for me. It lifted me. So with that saying, that's why I did it. After the promotional tour, I was tired. We did some other shows, but promotional tours kind of wore me down. So, you know, when you come off a tour, you say, man, I just want to go on vacation. But we was too broke to vacation. So only vacation we have is our own place. And, you know, maybe hang with some people, do some old English commercials or whatever it may be. We was doing that.
So in your group, the Third Avenue, you were the one who was writing and arranging, producing the music?
Nah, I was the one doing the music.
Right, doing the music.
Doing all of it. And me and Eric Robertson, we was doing the lyrics. We was doing the lyrics. And it was just a great time. We writing songs, coming up with something that sounds so good. Like, cause we was ahead of our time. Like you have Maxwell and people singing the falsetto, but we was doing it way before. If you go look at, people look at the Third Avenue stuff and they hear the Third Avenue song, they will hear a falsetto like never. And their sound, I don't know, did you hear any Third Avenue
Yeah,
song?
yeah.
Yeah, it sounded today.
Right.
It sounded today. And it was just ahead of our time and just, you know, music business stuff, music industry stuff, tore that group apart. Because me, I sold everything I had for them to get to LA. For us to get to LA. And it was heartbreaking when they said, well, we're going to stay with Dick. I was like, you wouldn't even know Dick unless
it was for you.
it was for me, that if I would have sold my stuff. So y'all go ahead. And I just, like, they're talking about getting a new member to replace me. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's cool. But then, my friend Thunder gave me the call for, and it's like a trickle-down effect. I did Bobby Brown. Stayed out there for all those months. I went home for a week. They told me to come to New York and do, you know, whatever artists I was producing on. I was producing a lot of artists on Uptown. I did, but
you did Heavy D.
Yeah, I did Heavy D, Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream.
How did you come up with that concept? Were you sitting with him?
I didn't. Me and Heavy was sitting at the keyboard, and actually they was doing a song. It was a totally different song. It was a totally different song. And then when I started putting the chords to, because Easy Mo B, he was a known producer. They was doing that song, but they was stuck. It's like they got a writer's block or something, and I was working on Al B. Short, and they called over Al B. Short for me. And they say, well, I want you to go over there to help Heavy. So when I got there, I see Easy Mo B at the mixing board waiting, Heavy Andre Arrell, and then Heavy D started telling me the song he wanted to do, and then that was Black Coffee. And I put like these cards to it, and it was like, that's it. That's it, that's it. And I don't know if they're saying that's it because this is the guy I'm supposed to be the new thing in music business. I don't know what it is, why they said it was it, but I played the thing, I got my money. Well, I told them send, you know, they write you a check, whatever. And then I went back to Al B. Short session and finished working on that because we was doing, at the time, Tony Thompson from High Five, the lead singer of High Five, was doing a song called Sweat. We was doing Sweat, and we had, it was Tony, me, they was just waiting for me to come, show them the cards. It was Tony, me, Faith Evans, and somebody else was in it, Dean Field, and me and Al came in, me and Al started writing this song, Sweat, I'll be sure. So, it's just...
So that's how the collaborative effort works in the music business? So they already had like the drum beat down.
They had the drum beat down.
Did they have the bass line down?
No.
Okay, so you come in, you play the chords.
It's called, yeah, I played the chord.
So then who came up with the bass line?
It don't break down like that. What it does is, if we play the chords, we just play the bass from the chord.
Okay.
I did some stuff, but Easy Mo B did some stuff too.
Okay.
It's weird because I came in a position, I was only there for about 3 hours, 2-3 hours. And it's real weird how it happened. It's just like we had David Hollister, David Hollister from Blackstreet. And David, I remember me and him sitting down, he said, man, what I should do, Teddy want me to be in his group. I said, yo man, you should see about that. Because Dave and Faith Evans, they was doing reference tracks for artists to come in and sing. But I was like, yo Dave, you really should see. You really should check. So me and Dave was talking, we were sitting on a step at the studio, and he just asked me my opinion, what should he do? And I told him, you should really try to see what he's doing, because Teddy was so hot back then. I think he could bang a can with a drumstick, and people say that's real tight, because it didn't matter what you do, it's just who's doing it.
So let me get this right. So you come into the studio, you say, this is what I'm looking for. And then you go, you hit the chords, the strings, and then someone else comes in and puts the bass line on or off of what you did, so to speak.
They had a bass line, drum beat with a bass line. They went together. They goes together. But with the chords I was doing, I had to add some stuff, bass line stuff. Now, Heavy, I'll never forget it. I probably won't ever forget this. Heavy told me, he said, what he wanted was a Tupac song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream. He wanted like real chord melodic. He said, yeah, I want to do like Pop did. So I just started playing what I think would sound like. He said, yeah, that's good right there. And then we had to fill in, the extra stuff, like to walk in straight, stuff I was doing, because the music business people thought I was just incredible with chords, because a lot of people back then, they didn't do chords. They really didn't do. They're high musicians that come do chords. There was only church chords. I would think of church songs and play it. And they like, yeah, that's right. I was like, yeah, you probably heard it. I'm thinking you probably heard it before. That's why, man, I just played Pass Me Not. They don't even know it.
So I mean, I'm getting to let the audience know how the music business works behind the scenes. You come in, you do that, they cut you a check, or they send you royalties in the mail, and then that's it.
Sometimes they cut you a check for when you first do half, and then on the back end, when you finish the song, you get the rest of your money. So it's like you get half before you start. Boom. With the Heavy D thing, I came right then and there. So you cut me a check right then and there, and then I got the back end half of what I charged to do that song. Now royalties, I tell people, and I really didn't know this, but they last you a lifetime, because you can get checks all the way in. I mean, it's 20 years and I'm still getting good checks from 20 years ago. And then 6 months to a year, you'll get your royalty checks for the songs, for what they play. Nowadays, since we're in the digital age, you get a check every week. Every month. You get a report every week, but you get a check every month. So it tell you It's so, I mean, being where I was in Elizabeth with so much insight I could give you with how things was and how things are today.
Dwayne Wiggins and the Strange Fruit joint.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
It's funny. I did a lot of tracks. I went to Oakland because I had, after 3rd Avenue, I started creating new groups. I was just in the studio creating tracks. That that sample, that's what sample was. And I just did a track and just left it on tape, just like, I'm not gonna use this. And Dwayne Wiggins called me. They called me and say, yo, this track that you did, Dwayne wanna use it for his album.
So let me get this right so that people can understand. So you're working at a studio that other artists work in, right? And you record something and you leave it on the 2-inch tape, right? And then they just come in and they say, well, the engineer that engineered your session that day says, well, you should listen to this. You're looking for something.
I don't know how it happened. You know, must have been fake, but it did happen. And I did the track. I put it on 2-inch reel, and I went to Louisiana right out. I went back. I stayed out there I stayed in Oakland maybe 2 months, and when I got home, that's where the shocker was, because I was going home to be with my family. I had a kid and I was married, and when I got back home, my daughter didn't know who I was. So I was like, I can't go on the road, be leaving like this. So I shut it down by traveling. I mean, I went back out to produce, but at that time, when my daughter didn't know who I was, it was heartbreaking. You know, I remember saying, she don't know who I am. My mom said, she doesn't know, she know who you are. Like, she don't want to be around, she don't want me to touch her. And from there, it clicked. You can't do it like you was when you started 3rd Avenue. You're gonna have to do this thing the right way. You're gonna have to prioritize what you're doing.